Hi everyone, it's Angel. It's time for Healthy House Calls with Angel. Thanks so much for tuning in to this second video of Healthy House Calls with Angel. And I just want to say right off, thank you to everyone who's been sharing the first video on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm so excited that you're so excited. So thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing. In that first video, I had said, if you have any questions about healthy living, lifestyle, nutrition, please send me your questions. So I want to thank Erica, who sent me the very first questions shortly after the video posted, and we're going to be featuring her question today in this episode. So most of you know I'm the owner of Siva Health, and Siva Health is a private health coaching, virtual health coaching practice and private house calls practice in Maryland. So in these videos, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the questions that come up in my house calls practice and in my virtual health coaching, and some of the answers and tips that I share with my clients. So back to Erica's very first question, which is, hi Angel, I love your tweets about finding balance, being motivated, and healthy living. My problem is that I often feel really overwhelmed. I just don't know where to start. I exercise, but then I stop. I try to meditate, but then I stop. I try to eat healthy, but something happens, and then I stop again. Do you have any advice for keeping the momentum, getting started after you've already started so many times? Erica, thanks so much for a really great question, because I'll tell you, that's something that comes up very frequently in my health coaching practice, and it definitely comes up even in my own life as I set goals and then I sort of fall off the wagon, and then I have to think about how I'm going to get back on. So I just want you to know that the awareness of knowing that you've fallen off the wagon and the desire to get back on the wagon are your strongest suits. So anytime you feel like, oh my gosh, I've fallen off, just the fact that you have awareness of that and you have the desire to get back on is a really, really good thing. Also, what I want to say is it's very easy to get overwhelmed with the volume of health information that comes out these days. There's always talk about clean plates or exercise or fitness or meditation. So it can sort of get to be overwhelming because you don't know, you want to do all of the things, but you don't know where to start. So what I'd like to say is I'd like to offer you 3 tips that really come from something I read maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's called The One Thing. This is a book written by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. It was a #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller, and the subtitle is The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results. I really loved this book. I'll tell you, I really loved it because it helped me to understand how I prioritize certain things in my life. It can easily be applied to health. It can be applied to finances. It can be applied to any area of your life. But I choose to use this as an application for healthcare decision making and setting goals. So the first thing I would say, as Gary Keller says in the book, identify your one thing. So what is the one thing that if you started doing today would make everything else more possible? So I'll just give you an example. For me, my one thing is sleep. If I set a consistent sleep schedule for myself, and I get a good night's rest consistently, it makes everything else so much easier. My thoughts are clearer, my intention is clearer, I'm certainly able to make better food choices. Everything just gets so much clearer when I have a good night's rest. So I prioritize sleep. Other people may choose to say, hey, I've got to lose weight, so my one thing is getting in fitness or getting in my gym time or my running time. So think about what is the one thing that you could do that would have the most impact and sort of open the door for every other thing to be possible. Second tip, I really love challenges. I love to be challenged, but I also love challenging myself. So in that, I generally create like 21-day, 30-day, or 45-day challenges for myself, because I find that what we do every day is more important than what we do once in a while. So I sort of set a grid for myself for 21 days, I'm going to do such and such. So if you sort of set a grid for yourself and say, here's my one thing, and I'm going to do that for the next 21 days or 30 days or 45 days, it sort of helps you to hone in and really narrow down or drill down on that particular thing. And you can do that month to month with different things. So next month it might be, I'm going to drink more water, or next month I'm going to challenge myself for the next 45 days to eat, a fruit and veggie diet, or whatever it is that you're going to be working on specifically. Third tip, use a journal. I find that you cannot change what you're not monitoring and what you're not measuring. I'm a big time journaler. I use a journal for everything. Sometimes I journal on my very favorite app, which is Evernote, because it's just handy. I have my phone with me wherever I go, so I can always update my journal entry wherever I find myself. Or sometimes I use my paper journal that I keep at my bedside. But either way, I'm a big believer in journaling because I want to be able to look back on what I'm doing, what fell apart in my day, what made my 21-day challenge more reasonable, and what made it impossible. This way I can make changes. So just to recap, identify your one thing, set yourself on a challenge of a 21-day, 30-day, 45-day, and then 3, create a way that you're going to measure and monitor what you're doing. So I hope that that tip helps. Certainly reach back out to me. You know where to find me on Twitter. And for those of you who follow me elsewhere, certainly feel free to send out a question or an idea or a thought on this video and let me know if you've read the book, if you like the book. Did you implement something different in your life? And how do you keep your momentum going? Because I think Erica's question is very common and we all really struggle with that. So once again, send me a shout out, send me your questions. I'd love to feature them on an upcoming episode of the show. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me at my website, www.sivahealthgroup.com. And from there, you can find all the other places in social media where I hang out. So I hope you have a great day, have a great week, and always be good to yourself, because good health begins at home and you are your best asset. So be good to yourself. Take good care. Bye-bye.